it can be ever so much more enjoyable to you when you start embracing contrast and appreciating it and understanding its value rather than resisting it. We can understand how you might resist contrast, how if you're living something unwanted, why you might want to push against it. And someone who does not understand that law of attraction abounds might be tempted to do that. We can see how when you look out and you see something pleasing or pleasurable, you would say, yes, let's have more of that. I would support that. I would vote for that. And how when you look out and see something not wanted, you would want to shout no at it, want to vote against it, want to push against it. There's a war against cancer, a war against drugs, a war against terrorism, a war against teenage pregnancy, a war against AIDS, a war against all kinds of things, and all of them are getting bigger because in this attraction-based universe, there is no such thing as exclusion. You can't shout no at something and make it go away because your attention to it activates it in your vibration and makes it more. So, not understanding about law of attraction is the reason that many people weigh the pros and the cons and the pluses and the minuses, and when they conclude what they want, often they talk more about not wanting something else than they do about what it is that they do want. It's just a sort of misunderstanding, and it's easy to understand how it would happen, isn't it? I want this, I don't want this. I want this, I don't want this. I don't want this. How about you? I don't want this either. Well, a lot of us don't want this. And the reason we don't want this is because it's awful in this way and this way and this way and this way. I'll bet there are a lot of people who don't want this, you say. Let's get together in groups of people who don't want this. And let's talk about how it is that we don't want this. And let's see if we can get the government to understand we don't want this. And see if we can get something in place so that this thing that we do not want, we've got signs that say we don't want this. And there were things from our history we didn't want either. We've got monuments that point to those things that we did not want. And there are people, historians especially, who will tell you that if you do not explore your history and really determine the things that you do not want, you will be sure to repeat it. And we say, actually, the opposite of that is true. The more attention you give to things in your historical past or even in your present that you do not want, the more you activate them in your now, and the more they become a part of your now experience. Because law of attraction says that which is likened to itself is drawn. So, when you set your radio tuner on 6:30 a.m., the frequency that is being broadcast at 6:30 a.m. is received by you. The signals match, and you have the experience of 6:30 a.m. But if you set your radio dial on 6:30 a.m., and what you want to hear is 98 FM, you do not have a satisfying experience because your tuner is set to a different vibrational frequency than the transmitter. So, I'd like to bring that up because we notice that as many of you are exploring the contrast of your time-space reality, you very often get fixated on the things that you do not want. And in that process, what you do want becomes ever so much more clear to you. Have you noticed that you always know more clearly what you want when you're living something you don't want? When you don't have enough money, you get so clear about the value of more money. And when you are not feeling good, health and a good feeling body is so much more important to you. So that contrast always causes a focusing, whether you know that it's happening or not, of desire, a launching of a vibrational rocket. So as you are running around in your physical bodies, you are really more vibrational than you are anything else. You're really good at translating vibration, so good at it that most of you don't realize that you are vibrational translators, but you are. So as you're moving around through the contrast of your experience, living some things wanted and some things not wanted, you are focusing desires. You're launching rockets literally out there into your vibrational future. Every time someone is unkind to you, you launch a rocket that you'd like to be treated better. Whenever you're bound up in traffic, you launch a rocket that you would like traffic to flow better and the roads to be better. Anytime you have any experience, no matter how broad or narrow your exposure to experience, you are launching rockets of desire. And every time you do that, whether you are able to speak it in words or not, those preferences are heard and understood by source energy and answered. You knew that it would be that way when you decided to come into this body. You knew that you would launch rockets of desire. You knew that your environment would cause you to achieve personal preferences. And as we talk about this to you, usually you do not rise to the feeling of that in the way that we feel it. We just think it is so wonderful that you have all of this variety that causes you to personally identify preferences, because we understand what that means. We understand the value of you being here on the leading edge, having your unique experience. Unique experience. Here we are all here together, having an experience that is absolutely unique unto the universe. The universe is going to expand in a way that it would not expand otherwise if we were not together collaborating with thoughts, ideas, desires, beliefs, expectations. In other words, this is leading edge creation. And from your non-physical point of view, you are so exhilarated about this expansion, not because the universe needs to expand. It's not lacking expansion, but because riding the wave of expansion is so exhilarating. To be in this time and in this place with this variety, inspiring new desires, and to have source answering each and every desire, and then to be so in vibrational alignment with what you're asking for that you get to feel the exhilaration of the energy pouring through your focus. And then you get to watch circumstances and events coming into alignment, all there to accommodate you. Your worthiness is not in question, not to us anyway. Your value is not in question, certainly not to us. And this gathering is about helping you to remember who you are, to help you reconnect vibrationally to the source that is you, to help you begin to appreciate your environment no matter how it is affecting you right now, to help you to begin to make peace with where you are because it's the platform from which all things will spring forth, to get you to embrace the idea of deliberate creation and deliberately focusing, and to introduce you in a conscious way to the guidance system that is within you so that you can make sense of the relationship between where you are and where you want to be on every subject. So the big question that we hear from so many people is, how can I have been offering a vibration and not knowing I was doing it? Because nobody's been talking to me about my vibration. They've been telling me what I need to do to make them happy. They've been trying to get me to control conditions so that I fit into some niche that they think is appropriate. And there are endless people with endless ideas about how I should think and what I should do. But I did not know about vibration. And so I've been thinking about lots of things. I've been sloppy with my thoughts. I've activated all kinds of things, some that I want and some that I don't want, but I don't have control of my vibration. And now look what's manifested. And you're wise when you begin to understand that what you're thinking and feeling and what's manifesting are always a match. Always. Nobody ever lives something that is apart from what they are offering vibrationally. That's why we and so many others are telling you, you create your own reality. Seth said it first. Jane Roberts translated Seth's vibration. You create your own reality. Nobody creates your reality but you. And the reason you create your own reality is because you look around, you focus on things, you activate vibrations which equal your point of attraction, and law of attraction matches it. So if you ever want to know how you're vibrating or what your point of attraction is, just look at your life. It matches it exactly. And if you want something to be different, you have to offer a different vibration. So that's what we're going to talk about all day here today. We're going to offer you as many techniques as you are willing to listen to help you understand that you can offer a vibration if you decide to. But the most important thing that you have to come around to really fast is, if you're going to be the deliberate creator of your own experience and therefore in control of your own vibration, you have to decide that nothing is more important than that you feel good and that you will be aware of how you feel. And It sort of goes hand in hand. You have to decide that what other people think about what you're doing has to be less important than how you feel. Because you can't listen to all those other people and have a clear, quantifiable journey about which way to go. Just think about how it goes when something is not the way you want it to be, and 4 or 5 or even 1 or 2 people who are important to you give you their idea about what you should do, and no 2 of them have the same idea. And the more people you listen to, the more confused you get, because they're speaking about your experience through their framework of experience, and they have no idea what your vibrational mix is. And so it's so easy to get confused about which is the right direction. It is our desire to do the best sales job that Esther has ever been able to find with words that match the vibration of our meaning, to help you remember that you are worthy, that you are powerful, that you are creators, that you are good, that life is supposed to be good for you, that life is supposed to be fun, that you can move yourself vibrationally if you want to, that you can understand your guidance system, that it is alive and active within you, that you have the ability, if you are willing to care about how you feel and you're willing to feel your way up the emotional scale, that you can get to a vibrational place where any desire that you have hatched, and there are many of them, can come to you. We do want to say to you that you'll never get them all done, because as quickly as you manifest one, you'll hatch another. In other words, it is the eternal nature of all of our beings. You would not plan your vacation itinerary and say, I'm going to go here, I'm going to go here, I'm going to go here, here. Let's see all of these places, and then I'll come back home. And then you look at it objectively and you say, wait a minute, I'm going to do all of that and come back home, and I'm already home, so why go? You don't go on vacation to get it done. And you didn't come forth to create this and this and this and this and this and this to get it done. You came for the fun of creation. And if creation isn't fun for you, it's because you're wanting things that you're not lining up with. And we know that's not fun. When you want something that you're not letting in, you've got a tug of war going on inside of you. And we know sometimes you say, I wish that I had never come to wanting this thing that seems to defy me, because I'm miserable now in its absence. I wish I hadn't met her. I wish I hadn't met him. I love him. He won't come to me. I'm in misery because this person I want will not come to me. You must find a way of feeling good about the things that you want. And when you do, no matter what it is, it will come to you. It is amazing to us that humans can get so sideways of the guidance system with which they are born that they can actually lose sight of what seemed like a fail-proof system, that good is good, that when it feels good, it is good for you, and that it is representing good. Not many of you lay on the hot stove and feel the pain of it and say, it's just what our family does. My mother laid on the stove. Her mother laid on the stove. Our church teaches us to lay on the stove. We are taught that if we lay on the stove enough, that we'll go to heaven. You don't do that because there's enough discomfort in laying on the stove that every instinct in your body wants to pull you away from it. And we want you to activate within yourself your awareness of your own guidance system so much so that when you stumble into a thought of self-condemnation or condemning of someone else, that you draw away from it just like that hot stove, that you recognize the inappropriateness of that thought in terms of who you really are, because it just does not feel right to you. You can just feel that it's not who you are. You probably remember the first time that you got together with friends and talked negatively about another friend. Esther can remember it vividly. She remembers her body shaking. She remembers trembling in the middle of it. She remembers the moment. She remembers the faces. She remembers the discussion. She remembers the discord. And it bothered her more the first time than the second time. And it bothered her more the second time than the third time. And it bothered her more the third time than the fourth time. And then after a while, she didn't mind laying on that stove so much because everybody around her sort of laid on that stove. And little by little, she lost track of the sensitivity of who she really is on that issue. In other words, she became socialized or integrated into the way society approaches things and lost sight of the way she, as God force, approaches things. It's easy to lose track of where you are when you lose track of your guidance system.